Oh, the drama. The drama. Yo, what's happening, people? Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host Jan. I do hope you lot are all doing well today. I really do hope that. Namaste. Welcome back to Chelsea News, of course, the daily series here on Football Therapy where I react to the Chelsea headlines, giving you my opinion, but more importantly, asking for yours. Today, there's a big relevant story in the world of football that could send shockwaves across not only managerial transfers, but indeed superstar striker transfers. And that is the almost inevitable fallout of Antonio Conte and Inter Milan. That's right, he's just won the Scudetto, did an incredible job. What an amazing manager Antonio Conte is. Might be leaving Inter, could be going to Tottenham, could he bring Lukaku with him if Harry Kane is sold? Lots to get into. Also, it could prove a positive for Chelsea. Hold tight. Do consider subscribing to this channel, Football Therapy, if you're new to the experience. Hit the all-important bell notifications icon. Drop a like if you want to show your sweet appreciation to my content. And also, I'd urge you guys to go check out my second channel, Football Yannick. Link in description. I've done a video on Gareth Southgate's England squad. You don't want to miss that, so make sure you click the link in the description as we get into today's big story. Right, of course, Antonio Conte is an inflammatory character. He was at Juventus, he was at Chelsea, as he has proven to be at Inter. He's won the league with every club he's been to. You've got to hand it to Antonio Conte. It's an incredible feat. Juve were consistently finishing mid-table-ish when he turned up, and he won 3 consistent titles in a row, including an invincible season. And since then, Juve have been having a monopoly on the league, winning all the time. That is until Antonio Conte rocked up at Inter and won the Scudetto with them, their first title in 10 years. Incredible work from Antonio Conte. And of course, he did really well with one of the worst Italy sides people have seen in like decades. Obviously did really well in the Euros, and turning up at Chelsea, winning the league immediately with a side that had just finished 10th and won the league comprehensively in an innovative fashion with his back three system that saw other teams in the Premier League imitating him to try and seek success domestically. Say what you want about Antonio Conte, he's causes friction with the board, a lot of players get upset with him, perhaps don't enjoy his training, but ultimately, the man finds a way to win. Incredible. Anyway, so he's done incredibly well with Inter. Inter's owners have financial troubles, and there's a lot of friction there. Remember when Antonio Conte turned up at Inter? The pre-season he turned up, when he got a bunch of their players, he kept breaking their transfer record, and he throws out Icardi, their talisman, and even before he got started, he was causing problems with Inter. So that's just incredible. He does fight with the board. Anyway, it does look like it could be over. And I think largely they want to shave his wages off the books, and they want to sell some big players as well. A bit of a fire sale. It's great winning the Scudetto, but apparently they want to clear out now. I'm going to cite an article from Court Offside, give you some information, talk about the ramifications of what will happen with Conte and prized players, most notably Romelu Lukaku. So let's dip into that article now and give you some information. Chelsea will no doubt be keeping a close eye on the situation at Inter Milan, as it looks like the future of manager Antonio Conte is in serious doubt. Despite just guiding Inter to the Serie A title this season, Conte may be about to quit the club due to a potential disagreement over transfers. It seems Inter have financial issues and need to sell players this summer, something Conte is perhaps understandably not too happy about. Yeah, Conte is one of those managers that wants to build on a league title win, which makes sense, actually, if you look at, domestic leagues historically. You build on a success, you don't sit on success. Largely why Chelsea did so badly after winning the Premier League with Antonio Conte. Let's read on and cite this tweet from Fabrizio Romano. Antonio Conte will decide about his future in the next few days. Inter want Conte to stay, accepting some changes in the team. They also need to sell some players for €80 million. Conte pretends a winning project, keeping the best key players, or he's going to part ways with Inter soon. To be honest, man, this was an inflammatory relationship. Bound to have this end. If he was doing that in his first pre-season, granted he stayed in the pandemic season for a second season, won the Scudetto, worthy winners of the Serie A title, and they're already causing problems. This is what happens with Antonio Conte. To be honest, I think he'll look at his achievement and be like, this is excellent, this is history book stuff from me, I'm very good. And he has been congratulating himself in the media, which is fair enough, have some self-confidence, it's fine. but I think he's probably going to part ways with Inter, especially if they're adamant they want to sell some, players. And to be honest, if they sell just Romelu Lukaku, who's obviously their talisman, who scored loads and loads of goals, that would be enough for them. But Conte is in love with Lukaku as a player and would absolutely, hate that. We're going to get onto that a little bit more in a moment. Let's finish the article. This could be of interest to Chelsea as they've been strongly linked with an interest in signing Romelu Lukaku from Inter. The Sun have linked the Blues with a possible £90 million move for the Belgium international, who has been in fine form at the San Siro and looks like an ideal upgrade on the struggling Timo Werner. Well, to be completely entirely fair to Timo Werner, I think Timo Werner would probably play next to Romelu Lukaku. Big man, little man vibes, old school. Now, first and foremost, what are the ramifications of Antonio Conte leaving Inter Milan? Well, firstly, there's been loads of links and speculation in the media that he might go to Tottenham Hotspur, a club that like the idea of big managers now, Jose Mourinho. They would absolutely love, I think, to get another ex-Chelsea manager in the shape of Antonio Conte, especially with his track record winning the league with every single team he's managed, or certainly since Juventus. I'm not sure about before, who he managed before. Anyway, I digress. Levy will be rubbing his hands together. Not only that, he would probably think, you know what, this could work out perfectly. I could sell Harry Kane for 120, 130 million. I could buy Romelu Lukaku, so Inter can get their money for 90 million, make some profit on Kane and buy an extra player, so Conte could keep his beloved Lukaku with him to try and win the league in the Premier League, and we could buy an extra couple of players for Antonio Conte. Do you know what I mean? And Antonio Conte could focus on winning the league with Tottenham and probably just sack off the Conference League because he loves winning domestic leagues out of Europe when he's not in Europe, basically. So that's a terrifying prospect for perhaps Chelsea fans, Arsenal fans, rivals of Tottenham, Conte rocking up, because I would feel you'd feel Conte would offer the most confidence for Tottenham in terms of winning a title and at least, being up and amongst it, which is, I dread to think. But also, that's a sort of speculative long shot at the moment. What we do think about is they do want to make money, and it's likely if Conte leaves and say doesn't go to somewhere where he can immediately bring Romelu Lukaku with him, Lukaku would probably like the idea of a Chelsea return. Now, I've spoken about this a few times before here on Football Therapy. Lukaku still has publicly stated he's got a strong love for Chelsea Football Club, a sense of unfinished business. I think he'd probably like to come back to the Premier League. He's obviously won the Scudetto, had an amazing experience away in Italy and Inter, scored so many goals. His profile's incredibly high again. Of course, he's got an immaculate record for Belgium as their top goal scorer as well. If you think he could come back, score some goals for Chelsea, win some trophies with Chelsea, which I think he always wanted to do, that would seem as a sort of big ambition for him, it would seem. This is provided the marriage between Conte and Lukaku is split up and they go elsewhere, and Inter do still really want to sort of generate some funds this summer. They can do that in the shape of Lukaku, maybe for, that'll be the only player they need to sell, and of course they've got other forwards and stuff. So really, Chelsea could maybe buy Romelu Lukaku for, I don't know, £75 million or something like that, and that would sort out Inter completely. Chelsea would have an elite striker that hasn't cost them 150 million in like the Kane price range. This is obviously speculative and theoretical at the moment, but I'm just putting it out to you guys because there has been links, and if Conte leaves Inter and you said to Lukaku, we need to sell you, how about going to Chelsea, they're willing to stump up the money, I have a feeling he'd probably go, yes please, I'd enjoy that. There you go, Chelsea get an elite striker. You'd have to think Thomas Tuchel would be happy with that, because whether he's a Thomas Tuchel type of striker or not, he's a Premier League effective striker. Do you know what I mean? Get him in the box, you will score goals. Not as consistently as Kane, and sometimes his touch will desert him, but he's a proven entity in the Premier League for multiple clubs. West Brom, Everton, Man United. If he's scoring for, your West Broms, he will absolutely score goals for this Chelsea team, which is creating a lot of chances. Anyway, I want to hear your thoughts, feelings, and opinions on this story. Let me know what you think about the Conte situation at Inter. Could you see him going to Tottenham Hotspur? Could you see Lukaku returning to Chelsea? And is that the appropriate option for the Blues? Drop your comments down below, drop a like if you've enjoyed the content. And if you want more content to keep the train rolling, be sure to click the link in the description and go check out Football Yannick for my video on the England squad. Alright guys, thank you very much for tuning in, enjoy the football, and I will see you later.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought. Body bag the verse, outlined in chalk. In my life seen trouble, hustle on the double. Silence on the trigger like my pick got a muzzle. Yo chick like to guzzle, bad boy stay in trouble. I only love this paper, sorry I don't. I laugh me baby.